Hi, I'm Yannick Taylor, and this is John Rencher. Say hi, John.
Hello, everyone.
John is an ABA student here in our master's program. So let's jump right into it, John. Why did you choose the Chicago School of Professional Psychology to do ABA?
However, the Chicago School of Behavioral of Professional Psychology, their program carried a lot of weight in the community. A lot of places knew about the Chicago School, and it became highly recommended. Chicago School did stand out in the community, in my community. And when I spoke with the representative, she was very friendly, very helpful. And so I decided to enroll here.
Great.
Well, I chose ABA in particular because of my affinity for psychology in general. And I've always, for every thought, there is a behavior that is produced from that thought. So you can't have one without the other. So that intrigued me, and I wanted to study it even more at this level because it ties into a lot of my future plans once I graduate in life.
Well, speaking of graduation, what are your plans after graduation? Are you going to do the ABA doctorate program?
I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm currently in two programs. I'm in a program here at the Chicago School and also in the doctorate program at Liberty
What?
University for developmental psychology. And my plan is to open up a private practice and more like a family wellness and address developmental needs with the children that are developing, typically developing, and those who are affected with autism. So, not also address the needs of the parents, provide parental parenting classes similar to the type of instruction you receive at the graduate level, rather than just giving them advice on how to parent, but actually starting with the conception and prenatal care all the way up until the fully developed child, birth, after birth, every developmental stage of the child, and teach them. The classes, of course, will be about 8 to 12 weeks long, and they will be really intense. The parenting classes currently that I've seen are really basically a one-day seminar, and I don't think that's really quite enough considering.
Well, thank you so much for telling us that. The master's program at ABA, which I'm in, is already taking up a whole lot of my time. You must be a very busy person if you are in a doctorate program and the ABA master's program. God bless your heart. I know. I know that is rough, but you're making it through. And I'm so glad that I got you here to talk to you about your plans as well. I also wanted to congratulate you on getting your first paper published with the Chicago School of Professional Psychology newsletter. Yay!
Thank you, thank you. I was really excited to receive that email congratulating me from the chairperson to a chairwoman on the board.
Dr. Mahoney?
Yep, Dr. Mahoney.
Yes, great person. Well, speaking about the paper, we don't want to give away everything because we want people to read our newsletter. Please check out our newsletter sometime next month or towards the end of the semester. Look for the ABA newsletter. But your research paper is about delayed discounting.
Right.
And I wanted to know if you could give us a brief summary of this research paper.
Well, the concept behind delayed discounting, what the perspective that I took on my hypothesis was that I believe that there's a correlation between low self-esteem in self-efficacy and the delayed discounting of probable outcomes. So basically, if a person is, even though self-esteem and self-efficacy sometimes is used interchangeably, but they're not. They're two different things. One is how you don't believe that you can accomplish something, which is self-efficacy, and then self-esteem is how you see yourself or how you feel about yourself. And I believe if those two areas or one of those areas are low, then you will most likely have engaged in pessimistic thoughts, and which would lead to you not believing in the futuristic and futuristic outcomes. Mm-hmm. I think it's especially high in cocaine and heroin use.
Wow. Now, normally in ABA, the big business is treating people with autism. How did you come up with this hypothesis of a correlation between self-efficacy, self-esteem, and delayed discounting?
At the end of the day, behavioral analysis is behavioral psychology. And for something to be a behavior, according to Skinner, it must be observable, it must be measurable, right? So there's a lot of different areas and avenues where behaviors are kind of being overshadowed by autism. And I in particular am interested in those behaviors that are related to addiction, substance abuse, eating disorders. That's what, thinking along those lines is how I arrived at that hypothesis.
Well, I think it's very interesting, and everyone should definitely check out our newsletter and read John's research paper there. This was our first Master's Spotlight. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to mention that John's research interests are also in transformational functions, ACT, and functional control. I had a great time talking with John, and I hope you enjoy listening as well. Thanks for watching. John, as we end this interview, I just wanted to tell you that stay safe, because COVID is still happening, and we need people like you in this field to bring new innovative things to ABA, not just autism. And I appreciate you taking your time to interview with me, and I know you have a very busy schedule, and I want to say prayers to you and your family, and hope you stay safe. And thank you very much for interviewing with me.
Hey, thank you for giving me an opportunity for this interview. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
All right. You have a good evening.